All right, how are you guys? Welcome to Let There Be Talk. It is March 28th, and this is episode number 639, brought to you by my podcast network, cactusradionetwork.com. You can find all of my podcasts for absolutely free on the website, including At Home with Byron Katie, The Grail, Dark Fonzie, and Let There Be Talk. Once again, that is cactusradionetwork.com. How are you guys? What's going on? It is Monday, and here we are with a fantastic guest, the return of the thrash metal king himself, Mr. Chuck Billy, one of my oldest friends from the Bay Area, and it was just incredible to catch up with him. I've seen Chuck a couple times over the last year, which has been just great because I don't get to see a lot of my friends a lot when you're out traveling or your friends are in bands. It's just come and go sometimes on the road. So I got to spend some time with him a couple days ago, talked to him for about an hour on all the things that are happening with Testament and Chuck himself right now, including the massive announcement of the legendary Dave Lombardo back in Testament, back there on the drums. You guys know how I love Dave Lombardo, another incredible friend and just a monster drummer, the legendary double bass master. So this is going to be very cool to see the tour that is about to start April 9th. The Bay Strikes Back. 3 of the kings of the Bay Area, Death Angel, Exodus, and Testament, all on one bill, traveling around America, schooling people on thrash metal, still to this day, all these years later. Can't wait to see it. I'm going to go to the Anaheim show. I'm fired up. I'm fired up to see it. Great conversation with Chuck. We got into all kinds of things. House flipping, Lombardo back in, a possible solo record for Chuck. So, oh man, great episode. If it's your first time on Let There Be Talk, because Chuck's here, I'm going to give you a heads up. He was on about 3 or 4 years ago. So go back and listen to that episode first if you want to hear the entire history of Chuck Billy and Testament, and then come back and listen to this one. I just want to give you a heads up so you don't go like, hey, man, you didn't ask anything about, the old days or anything. So that's where that is. A lot of good stuff coming up on the show. A lot of great guests coming. I am so fired up. This has been a fantastic year for Let There Be Talk. A lot of new listeners. If you are a new listener, please subscribe and rate and review on iTunes. It really helps, man. It really helps. And also check out my YouTube channel. It is Dean Del Rey, and you can hear all the podcasts on there. Tons of stuff on there. A little bit of comedy, a little bit of everything on my YouTube channel. Thank you for the massive positive response on the Ann Wilson episode last week. She absolutely killed it, and it was an honor to have her on. So thank you, everybody. A lot of positive reaction to that. Very, very cool. I had a great weekend, did a lot of comedy. A lot of the new bits are starting to work. It feels good. I feel really good, actually. I got to bring up Chris Rock 2 times this week. He is one of the reasons I do stand-up comedy. And there it is. Boom. You get handed a little piece of paper. Who's next? I look, open it up. It's Chris Rock. I bring him up. Sat in the back, watched him do his new hour. He's about to start a tour. Go see that. This new hour is fantastic. I was dying. I got to bring him up twice. So what an honor. Thank you, Comedy Store, just for being there. God, what a mecca of art that building is. Patreon. I've got a lot of bonus episodes, and I'm going to do Zoom Fest this week like I do every week with all of the Patreoners. And there's over, 120 bonus episodes, and it really helps me out. So if you want to join the Patreon, it's patreon.com/Dean Del Rey. And I cannot thank all the Patreoners enough for joining on. All of you guys out there hanging in there. I know it's fucking gnarly times with inflation and gas and life, wars and all kinds of shit going on. God, it's just brutal out there. But stay positive. We keep rocking. And, that's all we can do. Get up and have a positive attitude. Patreon.com/DeanDelRey. Also, merch. I've got a lot of hoodies and t-shirts on DeanDelRey.com. We got the Gertie hoodie. We've got the Perry Shawl Dean Del Rey collab shirt. We have a Grail shirt that I think is the greatest shirt made. And there's a few Dark Fonzie collector item shirts. And that's get one of those before those are gone. Possible dates. Looks like I might be in Cabo San Lucas April 8 and 9. These dates just came up. So I always say I'll believe it when I'm on the plane. But it looks like I'll be in Cabo April 8 and 9. The info will be on the website this week. What else going on? Oh, I'll tell you what's going on. I'm still rocking this Super Speciosa. You want to know what that is? That's pure kratom. Oh my God. I'm rocking this stuff right here. Kratom is just unbelievable. It's an all-natural ancient super leaf related to the coffee plant that has been used in Thailand for centuries. I don't really drink coffee. I either go tea or just natural, but I'm also a little sleepy and, I need a little go, but I don't want to feel speedy. I don't like that chattery, speedy feel. Kratom really energizes my mind and relaxes my body. It's perfect. It's really helped me with writing jokes and staying focused. I love this stuff. Super Speciosa has only one ingredient. It's pure kratom leaf. There's no garbage in this. All of Super Speciosa's batches come with certified lab reports so you know exactly what you're getting. It's not junk. This is pure kratom. Super Speciosa offers kratom powder, capsules, tablets, and teas. I've been using the capsules. Really easy and perfect for me on the go, For beginners, I recommend the capsules. That's the best way to go. Get the green strain. It seems to be the most popular. I've got green and red. I'm rocking them both. And we've got a great offer for you. Try kratom right now. Get 20% off. Go to getsuperleaf.com/Delray. Getsuperleaf.com/Delray. And you'll get 20% off with the promo code DELRAY, DELRAY. One more time, getsuperleaf.com/Delray. Use the promo code DELRAY for 20% off. Good stuff. Super Speciosa. Okay, it's time to get into some metal. A little Metal Monday. Metal Monday, scream for me. Here he is right now, my good friend from Testament, Mr. Chuck Billy. Chuck Billy in the house, part 2.
What's happening, dude?
Good to have you back, dude.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, I just want to give everybody a heads up because he was on before, so they don't go, you didn't ask him shit about the history of Testament. You were on, though. How many years ago was that? Like 4 or something?
Yeah, it's when you played the Bay Area. Was it 4 or maybe 3? It was right before the pandemic. I think probably 3 years ago then.
Yeah. We you came to the show at the Punchline, and then we drove out to your place.
Yeah,
stayed out there. It was nice, man.
Yeah, man. How you been? You back home or you on the road?
I'm home. I was on the road for 6 weeks, but I'm home for about 4 weeks right now. So, it's what you can relate. It's like you're on the road, you want to be home, and you're home and you want to be on the road.
Right.
Right.
It's a 2-year break for us. So I'm kind of anxious to get back out there. So I guess once I get out there, I'm sure I'll settle into it. But I haven't been home for 2 years and spent with my time with my dogs like I have for 2 years. So it's kind of getting a little anxious about it.
Yeah, it's wild to think about. Like, I was thinking about how you guys did the show in Oakland recently and what that had to be like, because you're not playing like folk music. So when you take 2 years off, and you fire up that voice again and the adrenaline and stuff. What was that like?
Actually, I thought because wasn't sure about my voice, because when I had COVID, my lungs were shot. And I'm thinking, okay, let's see how it goes. I was hearing everybody else, how they were suffering from having enough wind. And the music we do, I'm all wind when the way I sing and play. So I was kind of nervous about that. But when I started rehearsing, I felt good, man. My voice held up. Usually when we start up, I go hoarse for a bit, the muscles in here hurt. And I was pretty good that first show. And the one show was great. I think, I probably would have been, if it was a tour, it might've been a different situation. So that's why I'm waiting for this one. So I've been really working my lungs, and Lombardo's back in the group. So he's been up here learning the song. So I got to jam a few weeks ago. We just jammed last week, and now we're going to get jammed for like a week before the tour. So I think I'll be ready for this one.
Now, and also you don't really have the luxury, like, say a massive band like Metallica, where they take a few days off they do 2 and then 2 off. You guys, how many do you do in a row? Do you just keep going?
Well, I mean, we don't beat ourselves up, but we'll do 3 a day off, 2 a day off. Sometimes there's a 5-day run, with the day off, but that's mostly at the beginning of the tour. As we get into the tour, we kind of spread it out a little bit,
Yeah.
And I've been telling our agent, hey, man, we're not spraying chickens. Can you loosen it up? And it seems like we're working harder than we were in the past. So,
yeah. Well, those agents, they're like, we missed 2 years of money also. Yeah, he won't notice. Then you look at your tour itinerary. Like, hey, dude, this is 6 in a row.
Exactly. But we're ready for it. I mean, we're just excited to get back out there. Especially because we put out a record right when the pandemic hit. April 2020, the record came out and we never got to tour it. So
yeah, Titans of Creation with the hit song right now, World War III soundtrack to the world. Oh shit, man.
Yeah, man. I tapped in that little Nostradamus when I wrote that one, I think. But yeah, it's crazy though. That song is just really relevant. And we actually went in about 4 weeks ago. We actually because when Gene let us know that he was leaving, we've been talking about, hey, well, we didn't really get to promote this record. We want to push it again. What can we do to get some press out there? So what we did is we did a playthrough of the whole record.
Oh, wow.
With Gene, and videoed it. We went into a little sound stage and did it. It was kind of our last hurrah with Gene. And so that's going to be something very cool that we're going to put out with the album again once we get on the road here.
Oh, that's cool. Now Gene left. There was no animosity or anything, just a long run with you guys. And you have had some incredible drummers throughout the career, including Lombardo, who is my all-time favorite. And I love Gene also. Gene has been on the show, and Dave is a good friend of mine, been on a few times. When Dave comes in or another drummer, and I talked to everybody about this, the feel is totally different and stuff. What is the difference between Dave and Gene? Because they're both extreme metal double bass playing drummers. What is the difference in the feel and stuff?
Well, Gene's the atomic clock. His timing and his precision on the songs and what he's added to our older songs to just kind of make him Gene. He's a machine. And there's not one song that we can't just pull out of a hat and he can just pull off like tight and hit every part. Where Dave, he's a little looser and more organic. And I believe Dave hits a little harder, but he's a little looser. So that's why we're putting in this time in rehearsals, just to really get him tight with us. That's the biggest difference. But just to clear the air, that Gene, he because of COVID, we put off like 2 tours and kept pushing the dates back. Gene had been making plans to do some Death to All and some Death Clock stuff, and also his original band, Dark Angel. And so he went ahead and had some dates that he had put in the books already. And when it came down to it, after we're pushing everything down, we finally got our dates where we needed to put them, and they overlapped. And so we came to Gene and said, we really can't move our tour again and hold up. And so the conflict is he couldn't do them both. So we're like, well, if we can't do the whole tour, we might have to get somebody just to do the tour. So it kind of just came down to the scheduling, really. But and Gene, I wouldn't even count Gene out to never play with us again, because he's like, hey, if Dave's busy with another band, you need me, give me a call. If I'm available, I'll come in. And I know Gene, like I said, he'll step right in and just kill it. So, and we're still buds. We're still great friends. And we both understand, you want to do some stuff and we're not going to get in your way. And that's the way we've always been with Alex, Gene, and Steve. Like whenever Testament's on tour, we say, do whatever you guys do. Gene does his podcasts and drum lessons, and Steve plays on all kinds of bass on everybody's record, and Alex does his jazz stuff. So we don't like say, no, you got to stay and you can't do anything else. We want them to have that freedom, because we want them just to be happy in music as a musician, and then come back to us when you can,
Yeah. I mean, that's how it is these days. You're just adults, and it's like, these are my brothers here, but I also go out and make money in all ways I can, because streaming doesn't give me any money. So
right.
Yeah. Man, I love Alex. I've become pretty tight with him over the last few years, from New York, and then just rapping with him. And I was on his rap video and stuff. I love him, boy. He gets out there like, fuck you guys,
Yeah. Well, I give it to Alex now, because when he first got back into the band, he really was done a lot of jazz. So when he first started playing with us, and the first record he did, it was really kind of jazzy and clean. And I think over the years, God, it's been 15 years since he came back now. Now he's open to play whatever we throw him, because at first he's like, I just want to really play on the songs I wrote and worked with you guys. And that's the way it was. But he's developed into playing anything we want to throw at him, anything hard and heavy. And he's just grown as an artist, totally getting back into the metal world,
Yeah. Yeah. I noticed that. It's super cool, man. Because I think he embraced it, because he ran from it after and moved to New York and jumped into that jazz thing. And now I think he realizes, hey, you know what? I'm all of this, He
is. And I think at some point when he's at his jazz gigs, he's got a metalhead in the front row, like, going at it. He's like, okay, I've heard enough, but and that's how it works for us, is that everybody has their freedom to do what they want. And same with Gene, if you got shows you want to book, go for it, dude. If they're going to conflict, let's figure it out. And if we can't, let's figure out how we adjust to it,
Have you ever thought about doing a solo album yourself, like a different, like maybe just a straight rock record or something?
Totally. It's funny you say that, because I started talking about it and recruiting guitar players to write songs for me, to put together a record. And first thing I tell them is, I don't want it to be a Testament record. I don't want it to be heavy and thrash. I want to do something that has the vibe of the old vinyl records, when you're doing it the one take, the big, clean, dry rock sound, where you can hear every instrument, and not have sample kicks and sampled everything under the sun, and just have it real raw. I want to do that. I wanted to put it on and sound like an old UFO record or Thin Lizzy record or something,
right. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Thin Lizzy, it'd be cool to see that side of you, because I know that you love like AC/DC and Thin Lizzy and stuff like that. So that'd be very interesting too. And everybody else has had their side stuff, like Eric and Alex and all that. It'd be awesome to see that from you,
Yeah. And I've been talking, like I said, I think I have about 6 guitar players I'd spoke to so far to write, anywhere from Gary Holt to Mark Morton from Lamb of God, chatted with Joe Bonamassa, just all kinds of different guys. And it's always just write something that's not me.
Yeah.
I want to be challenged. I want it to rock. I want it just to have that old feel,
Yeah. You should reach out to Josh Z, the guy that does the AC/DC thing with me. He was in that band Protein for years from the Bay Area.
Oh, right.
Yeah. That guy can write rock,
Well, hook me up.
I will. I'll send him your way today. Absolutely. It'd be a good combination, I think, for sure. Let me ask you this. So we know the story. Gene decides to leave. Dave reads it right away and calls you while you're laying in bed. But was there any thoughts ever of, I don't know what Louie's doing, but, having the strike of the Bay is back tour and all that. having Louis come back? Does he play drums still, or what's going on with him?
Well, Louis would still be in the band when we reformed in 2005 with the original Greg and Louis, Alex. They all came back and we did, a bunch of shows, actually a couple of years of shows with them. Louis has arthritis in his hands.
Oh, wow.
So when he was doing those shows with us towards the end, he'd do some more. He couldn't hold the sticks too good anymore. So that was the problem. But Louis is still, I think, a Testament band member. Like when Eric writes songs and riffs, he sends them to Louis first. Louis is always the first one to hear them.
Wow.
Oh, dude, that's killer. That's this, or try that and that. So Louis still has an input in Eric's creation of music.
That's great.
Which is cool. And Louis always, every time we're on the East Coast, Lou will come out and he'll travel with us for a week and hang out. And just like old times, it's like, it's great. So, that's Eric's little secret tool. Louis kind of guides him like, no, that ain't cool. That's cool. So
I had Eric on the show. I hadn't talked to him in, I don't know, maybe 25 years. It was so great to catch up with him. There he was in his little guest room there, and said he was working on new songs for a new record with you guys and stuff. He's getting all into it. I love that guy.
Yeah. And I'm glad he is. And Eric's, he's a creative guy. He don't write extra songs for records. So whenever we start writing, it's from scratch. He doesn't like, I have this riff, we didn't use. So when I hear him create, I'm like, just write. And I think when we did the Brotherhood record in 2016, it took us 2 years to write that record because we had a bunch of songs half complete and we just couldn't complete them. We just couldn't put our heads together and get it done for 2 years. And so then the Titans record came around. I said, you know what? I can't go through that process again. Just write me songs and I'll figure it out. And I didn't challenge him because usually I'm the one to go, no, I'd rather put the chorus riff as the verse and this and move shit around. This time I said, I'm not even going to mess with that. Just give it to me and let me do my best. And it actually challenged me because I was singing stuff where I probably not necessarily, I probably would have challenged them at the beginning and said, no, get rid of that. Where I didn't this time. And it was challenging for me because I just worked it out and it actually made for a better record and a better song. And it pushed me, doing records for 30 something years to, hey, I'm trying new things. Wow, that's kind of cool that I'm not just doing the same normal thing and the typical thing I would do to make it easy. And I think it just made for a better record. So when I hear Eric now ahead of the game writing, I'm like, cool, let's just go I'm not even going to bug him, just write. So he said, I got a bunch of stuff ready to go, which was awesome. And then the Gene thing happened. And then here Dave's coming back into the fold. And I know when Dave wrote The Gathering with Eric was the guy who would always do the demos and work it out on a drum machine and give it to the drummer and say, here, put your 2 cents on it and make it your style. When he jammed with Lombardo, there was no demos. Dave just said, screw that. Just play, dude. Just play it. I'll just jump in. And so Eric got to think guitar and not worry about drums. And the record came out awesome. So we're like, maybe we can get a little bit of that magic back now that Eric's got a bunch of riffs and Dave's here again. Maybe they can just get creative again and just freeform it and just see what happens.
Yeah, super organic. I mean, it's funny. I was talking to Ann Wilson from Heart yesterday, and I said, did you do this record over like online with stems and everything? She goes, nah, man, I don't do that. It's jive. She said, part of the record to me, part of the chemistry is always the guys hanging out, joking, getting food. Some guys hungover. This guy's in a bad mood. This guy's in a great mood. And it gets this chemistry in the room that develops onto the record. And that's so right,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's fingers crossed is what can happen here. And I'm always a big believer things happen for a reason.
Yeah.
And the whole Gene thing, and we wish him well. And I'm sure we'll probably jam again with him sometime in the, down the road. But here we are. And it's funny because we would run across Dave for years and always say, dude, wouldn't it be cool to play the Gathering record in its entirety sometime? And again, we're like, yeah, that'd be so cool. But we couldn't say, hey, Gene, sit aside for a minute. When Dave's going to come, we're going to go do this tour. It wouldn't be too cool to do that to Gene.
Right.
So when this happened, first thing me and Dave were like, dude, remember we were talking about the guy that, hey, now we can do what we've been talking about, planning to play the Gathering record. So first thing I call my agent, hey, we got Lombardo. So down the road, start thinking of like some real intimate club shows, not bigger theaters, some more cool bars where we can just go in and just go old school and just play that record. And I think that'd be really fun and cool. And the fans would dig it. It'd just be real intimate. you know?
You could actually, which would be really wild, would be to fire up the Omni for one night because it's still sitting there and go in and do the gathering in the Omni.
Oh yeah.
Oh, man. How crazy would that be?
Any of those, the Rock on Broadway or Maboué, they're all still up there. And I would love to do that because that was our stomping grounds, man, back then. And to be back there would be so cool.
I know. Sometimes I go through photos and I have all these photos. I got thousands of them, like you and I at the Omni drinking Budweiser.
Riding Harleys.
Riding Harleys. This Redwood Run. Just great photos of me, you, your wife. We're all like out riding and shit. It's so funny how long I've fucking known you, man.
I know. It's crazy.
Everybody, Violence is back, rocking it out there and stuff. Yeah. Everybody fires up reunions. It's fun, It is fun. I think it's fun to do it once. There's those people that go, let's keep going. It's like, hey, man, like you realize right away, like, dude, you guys all have jobs and stuff. Like, you can't just get down and leave on the road.
No, but the little one-off fun shows,
fun
because I find you'd probably find the same thing when you got together with your old guys. You'd go, dude, we sound better and we're better than we were ever.
Oh yeah, because you also understand yourself later on in life, like what you can do and what you can't do musically, and then you just grab on your strengths where before you're just going on adrenaline.
Exactly. Yeah. Or trying to stay current with what's happening or something where,
Yeah. Now I'm fired up about this tour. First of all, Death Angel, one of my favorite bands of all time, from back in the day, and Exodus, of course. How cool was that little Bailoff little doll that came out, the action figure? Man, that and the Cliff Burton one, man. Who thought we would see a Paul Bailoff action figure?
Well, you got people like Brian Lou's part of that company who just, keeps it going. And I'm actually working on a Chuck Billy one.
Wow.
That two companies, one's putting it out, but Brian's company, Super 7, is going to actually distribute it as well.
Oh, that's cool. When's that coming out?
It's in the works. I already seen the prototype. And it's cool, but that's happening.
That's cool. Now, when they approach you, how do they do that? Is it just a guy draws it up and stuff, or is there any kind of 3D printing to that or anything?
For those, a lot of the figurines are almost the same. If you really look at all of them, it's kind of the same poses. They just put your looks and clothing to make it represent you.
Yeah.
But there's some other company that we're working off to do these specialty ones where they'll actually come out and take pictures, and it's really like lifelike.
Wow.
That I've seen that are amazing. So we're going to do that. But this one, I think it's a typical mold, because I did say, well, can I do it where I got my horns up and I'm pointing at the crowd and this and that? And they're like, well, we can't, it's hard for packaging, and we kind of stick to this mold here. So I'm like, all right, that's cool.
Yeah. And you got your, half mic stand. That's classic so you got to have that in there, right?
I had to request that. I said, you got to have that in there, because they didn't have it in the first one. I said, well, that's kind of a signature thing. And I've actually this last show, I've been using a mic stand.
Whoa.
The half stand.
Really?
Yeah, maybe the Ozzy approach, and stand and take it off the clip and sing and put it back on,
Yeah.
It's just something different. I think I noticed when I'm holding the half staff like this, I started getting a lot of cramping in my arms. And I'm like, man, it's just, this thing is, cramping up. So I tried something different. So I don't know. I'm switching it up here at later in my career.
I love it. I love it though, because you know what? Those are kind of things where you nerd out. Like I would be in the crowd and go, well, Chuck's going full mic stand now. I wonder what that's about. You know what I mean? And like you get into it,
Right. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was something new, because I always thought I got to have the stand to air guitar and stuff, because that's what I do. But it was cool without it. I was like, you know what? I actually kind of like this. I kind of enjoyed it. And it's just a different feeling for me,
Yeah. Now, I always wanted to ask you this. Are you going into your monitors these days?
I am. I fought it forever. I fought it forever. And then I got into it, and I tried one ear and the cabinets, and then I put the other one in. And then for the last, 4 years, I've been using full in-ears.
It's great, right?
It is. But I think what I don't like about it is if you take them out, you can't hear any vocals on stage.
Oh
Or
yeah.
anybody standing side stage, it sounds horrible up there because it's so quiet and everything. And that's the happy thing. I'm playing shows and I see a lot of cool people at festivals too, standing side stage and I'm just in my head thinking, God, this sounds awful. They're just thinking this is the worst sound that they're getting right now.
Yeah. Sometimes I go over to the monitor, man, and they'll give you some headphones. They'll go, here's this mix. And you put it on, you go, this is incredible.
Yeah. But you're thinking everybody else can hear this, but no, just me. Everybody else hears the horrible sound.
Yeah. Up on stage. Yeah. It's just nothing up there. It's weird. You'll hear some drums, You're like, wow, this is weird.
All drums.
Yeah.
All drums.
All drums. Now, let's get into the tour. It's coming up. When does it start?
We're kicking it off April 9th in San Luis Obispo. It's running through May 25th, end up in Sacramento.
Right.
So, yeah, it's going to be cool. When we toured this package with Death Angel Exodus in Europe.
COVID run.
COVID run. But it was the first tour that for me, because every time you go on a tour and you meet new bands, you kind of don't know them and you kind of become friends over the tour. And by the end, you're pals. This one out of the gate, we all know each other. It was just so cool hanging out, no attitudes. We all knew each other, no ego trips.
Yeah,
the whole time. And it was great. And so when we first had the opportunity to possibly go back on the road for this tour during COVID, the first thing we said is like, we had so much fun on that last tour. Do we really want to go on this American tour and wave each other at the buses and stay away from each other and keep guests from coming backstage? I go, it doesn't sound fun. And all the people I talked to that have done tours said, the thing I didn't like it just wasn't fun. It wasn't camaraderie. We all had to stay in our bubbles and it just made it not fun. And I'm like, well, I don't want to do that. I'm going to go on tour now, 35 years later, and have fun. So I talked to Exodus and everything. They said, you know what, you're right. We don't want to do that either. We want to go have fun and hang out. So we decided let's not do it until we can all go out there and hang out.
Yeah, I've been touring quite a bit during this era. And, touring's already lonely. And then you throw in you always look for each time you go, oh, we're in Philly, man. I haven't seen Steve. He lives out here now. And they come down with their family and friends or whatever. But it's just each night I was just in these concrete rooms, just sitting in there. And then you go on and then you leave. And it's like, wow, this is really brutal.
Right. And that's the thing. I mean, I made a post apologizing to all the fans because I'm always the guy to come out before the show or after show and hang out.
Yeah.
Go outside by the bus and chill. So I was like, I apologize, but I probably won't have any of this because we get sick. Tour's done. I just can't risk that. So, but we're full steam ahead on this now.
So you came down to the Metallica 40 year. That was pretty wild, right? 40 years. Now, how many years you guys?
Well, I've been in the band since 85. First record came out in 87. So, 35 plus years,
God, man. And Exodus and Death Angel. And I was talking about this with, I think it was Lars, but I was just like, all these bands that we grew up with are still around and they're out touring and they're on their third generation of fans. It's so cool to see, bands like you and Exodus and Death Angel out doing theaters, killing,
Yeah, I think we're the last Bay Area band that Metallica took out or invited for a show or a special thing. And I just wonder why is that? And when we seen each other, I think we shared the stage in Germany maybe 5 years ago or so. First time we've ever shared a stage with them. And it was funny. We all came up, it was a whole band too. Gene, Steve, all of us were coming out of an elevator and they must have came from a press room, but we all kind of turned the corner. We're face to face, band to band.
Wow.
And we're like, whoa, hey guys. And we're all big hugs and stuff. And, the first thing Lars would be like, damn, you guys all still got your hair.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, it was funny, but it was a funny thing. And at the time, but it was it was good to see them. And I was just made a point, like, this is our first time, we ever got to share a stage. And whenever I do press, it's always the question, who is the band that you would ever want to tour with? What's the band on this? Like Metallica, of course. I mean, It's the biggest band. I would love to be on a Metallica tour.
Yeah. A Metallica Testament tour would be unreal, man. It would just be so great to see that, man. And also there's something cool for them. Well, we've never done this. Let's do it,
Yeah, and I think in the early years of press, when we first started, we'd always get compared to like a Metallica-ish style of vocals. So maybe there's something about that where like we don't need two Metallicas playing the show.
Yeah.
You guys do your thing. So I don't know, but I think at this point in our lives and career, who cares? It would just be fun to spend time with them and hang out. I mean, like we're real friendly whenever we all see each other. But it's just, never getting to really put that hangout time in like on a tour like you get to do.
Yeah. Did Slayer Metallica ever tour other than the Big Four?
I don't think so.
I don't either. That's another crazy.
Now, Slayer, we've done from 87 till now. I think we've probably done 20 plus tours with those guys at least.
Yeah, what a band, man. You think they'll come back? I do.
I mean, I would think Carrie at some point is going to get bored sitting there and go, dude, why? Let's go. I mean, it's funny. We have new managers, and they had told me at one point that Tom was considering joining a band to go back on tour, but he wouldn't be the singer. He just played bass in the band. And I thought that was odd. I'm like, really? If he's going to go out and play bass, why would he do Slayer, and go do that? So, maybe one day, they'll have that conversation or pull something out of a hat. I mean, I know Carrie's pretty adamant about if it's over, it's over. And if you were there at the last show when he did his final goodbyes and his bow, took off the big belt, held it up and just dropped it, slam. It's like, oh, that's a big statement right there.
Yeah. I was there. Were you there? I was there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And it was fun. I just got goosebumps thinking about it. Wow. Because it was so emotional, man.
Totally.
Totally. I saw him a few months after that in Vegas. He was, I was trying to get him to come see me do comedy, but he was in the middle of like moving there at the time, which he just moved to New York now, which is wild. But I said, what do you think? Ever again? He's all, no. Him? No.
Yeah, one word, but
yep.
But you never know. I mean, I would think, and I know he wants to play. I know he's trying to put together a group, but it'll never be Slayer. And I think maybe he'll get out there and see that, that it's not the same, because it isn't. Once you try something else, no matter how much credentials you have, it's not going to compare.
It's like the Pantera guys, Damage Plan. It's it's just like the entire time people are there, they're supporting it, but they're like, man, wouldn't it be great? Wouldn't it be great? Wouldn't it be great? I get it. And when you're a Slayer and you're absolutely one of the biggest metal bands of all time, it's always going to be that question, and are they going to do it again? But, who knows? Hats off to them. If they don't, fucking, that'd be rad, because everybody says they're not, and they go back again,
Oh, it'd be huge. Even if they just pulled a tour around the world everywhere just to give peeps one last piece again, it would be huge. The tour we did was huge with them, the farewell, but just one reunion, people would go nuts. Yeah,
absolutely. Now, here's something, and it might even be a new segment in my show since I've got you on, and I was looking at your Instagram. This is Home Flipping with Metalheads, my new show. I'm pitching it. It's you and I.
Well, I like the show. I got the name, Banging Heads, Banging Nails.
Oh, shit. There you go. Yeah. I call it Banging Interest Rates. Fuckers, they raised them again. But it was really cool to see that, because I love that you do some stuff on the side that you enjoy and make money. I always tell people, if you want to be in the arts for your whole life, you have to have multiple irons in the fire. You can't just be that old school guy of, I'm an artist. Yeah, we all are artists, and that's why we don't have money. you know?
Right,
So
right.
you figure out what to do to keep doing the other thing. And then they both kind of make money and you're happy. So you're flipping houses now. I saw you were looking for some people, some painters and sheetrockers and plumbers and all that, which is in this time is almost insane, because I look at places and go, you flip this, but you better have a good team, because these contractors disappear on you. There's no fucking product available. Sheetrock's $1 million now. So how did you get into this and how long you been doing it?
Well, again, things happen for a reason. I'm a big believer. November 2019, I was like, I'm going to be 60 years old this year. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to rock as long as I can. But God damn it, I have a career that doesn't have a retirement plan.
Right.
So, if it comes down to one day I lose my voice or lose interest in it, what am I going to do? And I'm not going to go get a job. Well, I didn't know COVID, but again, it was the timing. I joined up this mentorship back in October, November 2019. And because I've had like 5 of my own houses, fixed them up and sold them for profit, and said, I really enjoyed doing that.
Yeah.
And so I thought that's what I want to do. So I joined up a mentorship, and then COVID hit. And so then I'm like, okay, I'm at home. I'm in this mentorship. I just focused, did Zooms like every day. And I did this one called, it's Pace Morby, and he's like the king of creative finance out of Arizona. And so I studied with him and learned all these creative techniques to buy properties without using your own money.
Wow.
And so
how do you do that?
Like 5 different ways.
Wow, I got to talk to you about that.
You do. But so what I did is I started a company with 2 other partners that were in the same mentorship, probably for the last year. And so now we're buying houses left and right and flipping them. And it's just crazy. And it during the time the market was going nuts, we were flipping these houses and getting like one project, we got $300,000 over asking. We're like, wow. What? Holy smokes.
It's crazy.
And a lot of people that have had didn't pay their mortgages for years or getting foreclosed on, and people are just behind. And we have creative solutions to help those kind of people out. So for what I learned is perfect for where we're at today. So we're rocking and rolling now. I got 2 houses I'm flipping in Atlanta right now, one in Berkeley, one in Sacramento. So we got multiple projects going on right now, and we're killing it, right now. And it's fun, and I'm loving it. And it's something I can do from the road. Yeah,
with a Zillow app and a fucking couple other things, you're going. Now, I'm obsessed with the real estate market, been dove in right during COVID and have been following it every day. I pretty much know it inside and out. I've seen what's going to sell and how crazy it's been. And, I think the main tip is you can't fall in love or have any heartstrings on something. You just put in offers and you move on, and see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we've really learned, how to know what we want to spend. And if it's not a deal, it ain't a deal. So we move on, but that's just one part. I mean, I got my irons in all kinds of fires. I mean, I got the vape companies doing some more new products for me. I got a bakery that's going to do edibles and all this stuff. And we're actually in talks right now with the first Native American tribe up in Washington State, who's got their first Native American distillery in America ever.
Wow.
And we're talking about doing a testament whiskey and beer that's going to get worldwide distribution. And I'm kind of be their little spokesperson for this thing. So we're kind of putting that together. I had my irons to invest in a low budget B horror film. I mean, I had my feet in all kinds of stuff right now, Coffee. We have a coffee company now that we got a Testament Dark Roots, our Dark Roast of Earth coffee that we have.
Wow.
So
wow.
We're just trying to do whatever we can do to, keep surviving.
Yeah. That's me, man. It's the hustle. It is a great world. As we live longer and longer, we figure out, you use your time smart and your energy smart, and then you get to do art the whole time. Because look at, here we are. We've been on, I call it standing on wood for most of our life. Wooden stages. So it's an amazing thing to hear and see you doing, flipping homes. I love that. Back in the day, it would be like, don't show anybody anything, man. We're a successful metal band. It's like, man, that's all smoke and mirrors. Successful is happy.
Yeah, successful is being happy and having fun with doing stuff, and for us, we've stuck to it. I mean, there's a lot of bands that kind of threw in the towel and then got back together. We stuck it through the thick and thin. I mean, in the 90s, that was probably the worst time in our careers, just because the metal scene was changing for us. But we stuck with it and wrote true to what we know. And now, years later, we talk to press that were like, you're the only band that really stuck to your roots and what you do no matter what. And I think that helped in our success. And actually helped maybe a sense of respect within our fan base and stuff, that we didn't jump on a bandwagon and try to be something that we're not, just because we're trying to be with what's hip or current.
You don't got a rap metal record.
No. And it's paying off, and so I think there's something to that. And here we are at the back end. Well, I mean, I still say we got a lot of time left in our career, but here we are playing bigger shows, making more money, having more fun, and we see it from the fans. That's why I like talking to them. And I've always it never fails. Thanks for sticking with it. Thanks for doing what you guys do. And that, to me, that puts like a lot of stuff in my heart when I talk to those people. Like, you know what? I'm going to own that now. Because before I might say, yeah. But yeah, I'm going to own it because we did,
Yeah. I'm the same way, man. They're like, thanks for doing this podcast for 11 years, got me through some dark times. And I'm like, yeah, man, it got me through the dark times too. So thank you for listening.
Exactly.
Well, I'm fired up, man. I tell everybody once again, the tour starts when?
It's going to be starting April 9th, San Luis Obispo. And then April 10th, we're in Anaheim. If you want to come on down at the House of Blues.
I do want to come down.
Let me know. I'll get you hooked up.
Yeah. I want to come down to that for sure and just see all the heads. And it was great to see all the people in the Bay Area at the Metallica 40. Those type of things are always big family reunions. It's great. Oh, yeah. And what any cool plans for your 60?
Well, we're off the road. We got June off. So usually I don't think we have big plans, but usually we go boating in a Lake Berryessa. That's kind of been a tradition. Just rent a cabin, get on the water, enjoy some sun and friends. We get a bunch of guys up there. So we haven't really made plans yet, but that's kind of what we're throwing out there.
Yeah, man.
Unless Tiffany has some trick up her sleeve and I got to, I'll know when she's like, no, we're not going to the lake. Okay. So what's really going on?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Oh, Chuck, we have to go to Oakland today. I got to pick up this thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, man, I love you to death. And
love you too, bro.
I cherish our friendship and I love your band and all the guys and the music just over the years, just so great. Sometimes I'll just be walking down the street and I'll be like, over the wall, just for no reason that comes out of my mouth.
Right on.
I mean, like, what the fuck? But we got a lot of history, man. And this tour and these bands that you have and all the friends on there, that's a lot of history. And it's going to really spill off into the crowd. I know. One last question. Any super jam at each night at the end?
We've talked about it. And I know there'll probably be some like sound check super jams, I'm sure. But yeah, our agent said, could you guys do something like that? And we're like, well, maybe we'll see what everybody else feels, Yeah,
like Rothschild, Maiden would rule. Just
something.
Night, fucking Rothschild, Or
even doing a Slayer song, the crowd would go nuts,
Oh, God.
Gary's there, Lombardo's there.
Oh, that would be great.
Right?
Oh, fuck
so something like that, Angel of Death to end the night, it'd be awesome.
Oh God, that would be. Oh, I got goosebumps on that too.
Yeah, so I look forward. I hope you're down there because you can see all our Bay Area bros and stuff, and come hang out. And
I got to put that in my calendar right now.
That'll be on the 10th of April.
Oh, I never work Sundays. I'm going.
Perfect.
All right, I'm putting that in right now. I am so there.
Perfect. Let me know how many tickets you need. Bring some friends. I've got to take care of.
I'll ask Burr. Maybe he wants to go. But
that'd be awesome.
I know, right? Yeah. Oh, that was great. You guys came to see us.
Yeah.
What was that? In Reno or something?
That was San Jose.
Oh, San Jose. That was so cool.
That was a great venue there, man.
Oh, that place is beautiful, right?
Yeah. Oh, I seen him on a show. Me and my Tiffany were saying, "Is that Bill?" I forgot. It was one of these.
Oh, the Indian one, the tribe.
Reservation Dogs.
Yeah, great show.
Yeah, actually, I might make a cameo on that. I just supplied him with a bunch of Testament shirts and posters for the set for season 2 here. But I seen him. I go, that guy looks like Bill. And Tiff's like, I don't know. Then she looked at it. I go, it is. You played such a great part on that, man.
Because he had the bald head and stuff, like the side. He had the side wings.
Yeah. Great part.
Yeah, he's on The Mandalorian also. He kills it on that.
I haven't seen that yet. So
you know what? Dig into that because it's not corny Star Wars. It's like it's Star Wars if it was Road Warrior.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's got violence and killing dudes, and the guy's like a bounty hunter type of thing. Man, you would love it, dude.
I've heard a lot. Everybody tells me I got to watch it, so that's next on my list.
Yeah, really good. All right, man. I will see.
Right on, brother.
I'll see you in Anaheim, man. Thanks for doing the show, brother.
Hell yeah. We'll see you soon.
I'll see you, man.
Peace.
Later.